Welcome. Welcome to the Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority regular meeting agenda, Wednesday, November the 15th, 2017, and it's approximately 5:42. City Clerk, if you'd like to take care of roll call.
Mayor Hurtado,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Pacheco. Here. Councilmember Escobar,
Here.
Councilmember Hodge,
Here.
Councilmember Real.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you. This is the public comments time. I don't have any slips, but I'll go through the reading of the notice. Public comments not to exceed 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address the City Council in closed session items only. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. The City Council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the City Council. I do apologize, I don't have my glasses with me today. Due to the fact that we are just here for to start up closed session, I guess with nothing to say, we will adjourn. Be back. We actually are going to convene here for a moment. We are not done with closed session just yet. Welcome to the City Council, Calexico City Redevelopment Successor Agency regular meeting. It's Wednesday, November the 15th, 2017, and it is approximately 6:37. The reason, again, is that we're coming out just to let you know we will be extending today's closed session, and I believe at this time we'll have our city attorney explain to you just a little bit.
Great, thank you. At this time, we're going to add an urgency item to the agenda. We'll need a 4/5 vote, and the item will be appointment of an interim city manager as well as a permanent city manager. And we'll need to add that to the agenda, and we'll take this item right now. So if I can get a motion to add that item to today's agenda.
I'll make that motion.
There's a second.
Okay,
Second.
first by Mr. Hodge, second by Mr. Pacheco. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. At this time, we'll be right back.
Thank you. Should it be more than maybe 5 minutes? Again, thank you. Welcome to the Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority, regular meeting agenda. Today is Wednesday, November 15th, and it is approximately 6:40 in the evening. Somebody needs to fix the clock. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Hurtado,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Pacheco.
Here.
Councilmember Escobar,
Here.
Councilmember Hodge,
Here.
Councilmember Real.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
City Attorney, would you like to make the report now or later in the agenda?
I can do it now. We do have one reportable action from closed session on a 5-0 vote with the motion being made by Councilmember Hodge, seconded by Councilmember Pacheco. The City Council voted to appoint Mr. David Dale as interim city manager effective December 15th. And this was due to the resignation that was submitted by our current city manager.
Okay,
Mr.
thank
Villa?
you.
So thank you, Mr. City Attorney and Mayor and members of the council. So the result is I've submitted my resignation to the City Council, and the City Council has accepted my resignation. I am going to be here for another 30 days and help the city with the transition. I have decided to accept a job in another city, and I will be making an announcement at that time. So with that, unless you have any questions, I thank the council for their understanding, and it was a very difficult decision, but again, thank the council for accepting my resignation and the terms, and that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Villa. And just for those in the public to know that today's discussion was a very harmonious and civil discussion, and this is actually a very professional move that the council is supporting our city manager at this time and all of his endeavors. So,
Thank you.
good luck. All righty, moving right along. I guess on the next item is our Pledge of Allegiance. Gio, would you like to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance? The Boy Scouts of Calexico?
of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have invocation.
Yes. Do we have an invocation today? City Clerk? Yes.
Nathan.
Is that it?
Yeah, there's,
Nathan? You're here? Go right ahead, Nathan. It's all yours.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for this evening that we have to meet and discuss the needs of the city and the citizens of it. We ask Thee to bless our city council, that they'll be guided in the things that they need to do that will most benefit the citizens of Calexico. We thank Thee for the opportunity we have to meet here and enjoy the freedoms of this country. We ask Thee to watch over our city and to watch over our youth, that they'll be protected and guided in the things they need to do to be a benefit to our society. We ask Thee for these things in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, especially for the youth. Well, first of all, thank you, Boy Scouts, for coming here today. I hope you enjoyed today's meeting. Are they on the agenda today? Mr. Horton, would the Boy Scouts going to be on our agenda today? Real quick.
They're doing their citizenship for their merit badge.
Alrighty.
One of the requirements is that be here.
Oh, okay. All right. So no presentation. You guys got out easy on that time. Alrighty. May I please have an approval of the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda, Madam Mayor.
First by Mr. Pacheco, second by Mr. Hodge. All in favor?
Hold on, I believe this
Did you
needs
wanna
to
make a
be, no, there needs to be noted that there was an item added to the agenda.
Ah,
I believe our lawyer did that at the beginning, but okay.
Is that, doesn't it have to be approved with the,
yeah, it'll be,
Wanna go ahead and do
it's,
that?
the agenda is being approved
Duly
with a
noted.
modification.
Duly
Correct.
noted? Council? Correct?
duly noted.
Alrighty.
we've done this too
Announcements.
long.
These proceedings may be viewed on the City of Calexico website at www.calexico.ca.gov the Friday following the City Council meeting. Now we're at the point of public comments and public appearances. Note, not to exceed 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address the City Council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. If the item you wish to comment on is a consent item, please comment now. The City Council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included in the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when we get to that item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the City Council. I have a few requests to speak, and there's Chris, but I'm not sure what item Chris wanted to make a comment on. It says, public comments? It's all yours. 3 minutes, please.
Hi, good evening, Ms. Mayor, Honorable City Council. My name is Chris Herring. I'm the Emergency Medical Services and Preparedness Manager with the Imperial County Public Health Department. I'm here today just to give you and let your community know of an event that's going to be taking place in the city of Calexico tomorrow. You guys may have already seen a media advisory that went out earlier this week, but we are holding a disaster exercise in the city of Calexico tomorrow. It's a multi-agency exercise we're participating in. It's an annual exercise that the state has every year. The last few years have really been more focused on the public health side, some hospital stuff. This year we're going back out into the field with our EMS providers. So just wanted to let you guys know that it's happening. It will be in the downtown area of Calexico. We've been working closely with Chief Gomez and Chief Favelo with your fire department to make sure that we can make this happen. So when you see all the fire engines, ambulances, police cars, downtown Calexico tomorrow, that's what it's for. It is part of a planned exercise.
Is it going to be one of the zombie apocalypse?
It is not a zombie apocalypse.
Make it fun, man.
What exact streets will you be on, or is it throughout?
So
all
we'll
the-
be on First Street, east of the port of entry, in between Heber and Blair, Heber and Mary Avenue.
Will you be the only agency out there doing this?
No, we're not. We're actually going to have agencies from all across the county participating, as well as some of our federal and local law enforcement partners.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That's where I work, so I'll go out there and visit you guys. All righty. Awesome. Loli, did you want to speak on public comment? Loli Torres?
Hey, my name is Loli Torres, 46 Las Flores Drive. And I'm part of a small group to begin with, but we're calling our group Taxpayers for Efficiency, Effectiveness, Truthfulness, and Honesty. Teeth in Calexico local government. We, the taxpayers of the city of Calexico, demand a reasonable level of public safety services. We believe the current public safety services are below reasonable levels, and this is unacceptable. This is what we understand. Police, consistently, there are only 2 sworn officers on duty at night. Fire does not have and meet the minimum number of firefighters per shift. Ambulance, many times only 1 out of 3 vehicles are available due to staffing shortages. As a senior citizen, these services are crucial and life-saving. The current level of services are unacceptable and inexcusable. The current city council was elected a year ago. Many of the council members have served in the council for several years, and nothing has been done to address the lack of services. These are serious and dire situations to the citizens of Calexico. We want the community to help put the teeth back into your local government. We are not a political group. We're not here to endorse anybody. We're just concerned. Mr. Escobar, for the financial background, I hope you get a city manager that knows what he's doing. And Mr. Hodge, I think the police department backed you up the last time. I think you need to help them out also. And of course, you guys know where I stand with the fire department. We need them. There's no use having recreational activities, the community center, if they fall down and nobody's gonna go pick them up. We don't have a hospital. They are paramedics and they take care of us. You're hiring other people or advertisements for, let's see if I can pull this up. Something for a supervisor of maintenance and operations, $37 an hour. A local fireman, I think, get $18 to start, to begin with. How do you figure that out? So we are concerned, and this is just the first issues that we're going to bring up. There's also problems with your sewer and water plant. And I hate to say this, but shit's going to hit the fan. And if that happens, when that breaks down, what are you guys doing? Stop talking to your department heads. Start talking to your workers. This changeover of Mr. Villa leaving, that's another changeover for the city employees. Their morale is going to go down. Who the heck is going to want to stay here working with the city? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Loli. Mr. Jose Gutierrez?
Buenas noches, mi nombre es José Gutiérrez. A los miembros de la Cámara de Cabildo de Calexico, por este medio, nosotros, residentes de la comunidad de Las Casitas, traemos, sugerimos y pedimos ser nuestros intermediarios para poder hacer mejoras a nuestro parque comunitario, ya que se encuentra en muy mal estado. Sugerimos que los juegos para los niños sean cambiados a unos en un mejor estado, ya que estas no cuentan con sombra para los días de mucho sol. Desde hace 3, 4 años que hubo un vendaval muy fuerte, nos tumbó las sombrillas y muchos árboles y estos de límite de velocidad. También necesitamos más luz, lámparas en el área de picnic donde se encuentran las mesas. En general se necesita más luz, ya que la mayor afluencia de gente en la tarde, noche, hay áreas del parque que no están bien iluminadas. Si fuera posible, se dejara 1 hora más prendida para los equipos que vienen a entrenar y jugar fútbol, soccer y otro deporte. En cuestión de mantenimiento, sería buena idea poner los sprinkles, ya que actualmente se prenden a las 6 de la mañana y los dejan prendidos 5 o 6 horas y se queda todo encharcado y con lodo y es imposible hacer alguna actividad ahí. También, algunos de los sprinkles están muy mal colocados y mojan las banquetas y la calle. La señora Estrada ha estado apoyando con unas de las luces móviles, ya que están ahí, ha habido varios juegos y por la poca luz era imposible jugar bien solo. Que hubo vandalismo y le robaron las baterías y alumbrado a esas luces. Que por esta razón también pedimos más vigilancia para nuestra comunidad. También deseamos que se nivele el campo, ya que está muy disparejo y si es posible necesitamos otro contenedor de basura en el lado del campo de softball y que recojan a tiempo y que así no se generen malos olores. Y quisiéramos que repusieran los letreros de límite de velocidad, ya que hace más de 3 años se volaron y no los han vuelto a poner. Muchas gracias por su atención, usuarios del Parque Las Casitas, entre Ostri y San Elis.
Sí, ok.
¿Les puedo dejar
Claro que
las
sí,
firmas?
señor Gutiérrez. Un comentario,
Con
señor
unas firmas
Gutiérrez.
aquí.
Un comentario, señor Gutiérrez. Escuché que dice de la señora Estrada. Sé que la señora Estrada tiene muy buena relación con nuestro, bueno, ahorita ya va a ser city manager, pero con nuestro director de obras públicas. Hay bastante comunicación. Estas preocupaciones suyas, vamos a hablar con él. Si me permite, cuando ya se vaya a ir, permítele su número de teléfono. Pero con la señora Estrada, la escuché, ella es la organizadora de muchas de las organizaciones de recreo y sé que tiene muy buena relación con esas preocupaciones. Hay que dirigírselas, ¿ok?
Muchas gracias.
A usted. Muchas gracias. Okay, no more public speakers. We'll be moving on then to our city council
Wait,
comments.
Mr. Horton.
Oh, Mr. Horton. I'm sorry, Mr. Horton. I should have put you first, Mr. Horton. Come on over.
Honorable Mayor, distinguished members of the City Council, public at large. Earlier this year, and I'm doing this not as the chairman of the Economic Finances Committee, I'm doing this as a concerned citizen. Earlier this year, both in January and February, I talked about the bid and the lack of a bid. And I said I would come back again in November. I'm here in November. We have not had a meeting, and now we're getting ready to reinstitute the resolution for the bid, where we will be charging businesses from the city of Calexico $100. But we can't do that because we don't have a bid to reinstitute the resolution. And I also want to point out to the citizens and to the city council, over a year ago, the merchants downtown paid for banners to be put up on 2nd Street, but the city wouldn't allow them to put them up for Christmas. We talk about helping our downtown, doing everything to do for our downtown, but when it comes time to say we're going to do something, the performance is there and the performance is lacking. I'm asking the city council in their comments to talk about this. We have not done nothing. Do you think it's fair for businesses downtown to pay $100 extra on their business license and not get the benefit of it? That means that you are a, what's the word for it? In other words, you're contradicting your own resolution, your brief resolution by the city that puts it out. This is my thought as a citizen. Now, in reference to the economic side of the house, I will be recommending that we look into things. And we work for the city council, and we should be bringing advisory information to the city council in order for them to adequately make their decision. And this is one of the comments I wanted to make because in January and February, I talked about this. I'm back in November. And I asked this, anybody that's thinking about running for city council, maybe they should be a litmus test to say what you're going to do for the city. And then at the end of the test, a year, see what they have done for the city. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Harton. Okay, that is the end of all public comments. Now we're going to bring it back to council. And City Manager, would you like to chime in before we start?
I'm sorry?
Would you like to make any report, or you want to wait till we're done?
I'll wait till you guys are done.
Okay. Mr. Escobar, do you have any comments or anything to report?
A couple of quick comments. Our local high school lost, unfortunately, in Division 4. It wasn't very close, but unfortunately, anyway, we lost. But my alma mater won, and they're in the semifinals of Division 5. Calexico's Division 4. I'm not even going to go how that goes, but anyway. Vincent Memorial's Division 4. Division 5, and the semifinals are this Friday at Ward Field. So I just want to wish them the best. They also represent Calexico, and hopefully they'll be able to win and then take the title for Division 5. I believe it's the Saturday after Thanksgiving. It used to be at Jack Murphy or Qualcomm Stadium. I think they changed it, and now it's at Southwest Stadium. I'm not sure why, but anyway, long story short, if they win this Friday, they go to the finals, and hopefully we'll have a champion in Calexico. So good luck to the kids. National Philanthropic Day is, I believe, on November 29th. It basically boasts the best of our valley as far as giving, which is something that we should all support. I believe it's the 29th. I believe it's hosted by the Imperial Valley Community Foundation. If you're interested, obviously log into their website. I'm sure they have more information, but it's definitely a nice luncheon, and obviously it behooves us to support our local charitable organizations and charitable individuals. And I know you love the word behoove.
I like that word a lot.
Lastly, I had a little speech prepared because today is my quote-unquote my 1-year anniversary. It's been quite a challenge being on city council. It's been very much a learning experience, a learning curve beyond belief. It's funny that Ms. Torres, I apologize, mentioned police and fire, and the first thing I got hit is police and fire as I walked in the door. So it's definitely been a learning experience. I don't regret it because I'm serving my community that I love dearly. I think we all are. We just have a lot of challenges. And with that, obviously we have one more because Mr. Villa announced his resignation today. So I wish you all the best, lo mejor, y estoy seguro que vas a regresar pronto, in one capacity or another. Thank you, Ms. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Escobar. Mr. Pacheco?
Just want to share that I've worked under 3 city managers and 2 interims. And by far, the city manager surpasses those individuals in honesty and strong leadership and a vision for this city, even though when he came in, this city was lacking a lot of services. And I really appreciate the work that he's done. This council has really done a great job, I think, being here for 1 year. And we hope for the best for the city. We're still growing. We've got some strong projects coming in. Hopefully, we'll see fruition in next year, March, April. But we hope for the best. Things are looking good. Thank you for your support.
Okay, Mr. Pacheco. Surian?
No, you go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead. No,
Mr. Real?
Randy.
Want to just echo some of my fellow council members. You know, I think one of my greatest achievements of being on city council is to be able to say that I brought Armando Villa to this city. I want to thank publicly John Moreno and Luis Castro for supporting Armando Villa when he came to the city. We just, you know, we gave him all our trust, and he didn't let us down. I think that he definitely took the city and turned it around. I mean, complete 180. We still have a lot of work to do. And wherever you go, they're lucky to have you. And, you know, if you're back, then we'll be happy for you to be back. But, Godspeed, honestly. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for the city. Your public service is it's been definitely up to par with what we all believed you could do. And again, we just can't, now we just gotta get through this. I think you laid the concrete, the foundation for bringing the city into the future. And last thing I want is for you to leave Calexico thinking that you left something undone. I think you did a remarkable job with the time you were here, and we'll be okay. But again, thank you for your service. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Mr. Hodge?
Mr. Villa, a urgent request, unless it's been done in the last day or two. And it piggybacks on what Mrs. Torres had to say. On my comment, I would strongly urge that we hire the 2 police officers that have been completely vetted, and all they need is your authorization, sir. So unless there's something else in the way, which I have been informed there isn't, please expedite and do so. Mr. Villa, I have a tremendous amount of respect for your capability, your intelligence, and sense of integrity and character, sir. And I personally will miss you. You have done an outstanding job for us in the city. And I echo all the words, the fine words that were just said right before I start talking, especially the key word that Mandy said. You've done a remarkable job, and nothing short but remarkable. You took us from the brink of catastrophe, and you brought us back. We still have a lot of economic challenges. And I want to say that you're going to be missed, but we are going to be okay. I feel strong about our city council. And I feel strong about the 2 individuals that you have brought on and have hired. So I'm got to be vigilant, got to be concerned, got to be responsible, but I'm not freaking out. I know we're going to be all right. I have ultimate confidence in our staff and in this city council. But we will miss you, Mr. Villa, but wish you the very best of luck for you and your family. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hodge. Well, Mr. Villa, there's a lot being said, so it's kind of hard to go over the same thing. It kind of felt like the white doves were going to come out from somewhere or something, because it's such beauty. Yeah, but you know where we're at. And actually, what I wanted to kind of reassure that what Mr. Hodge is saying is true. This council has dialogue, and no matter what we're going to be facing from here on in, it's not easy. Things that are going to be criticized, that they're going to be there because we have so much work to do. However, we have a difference in this day and age where you do have a group of professionals that are communicating with each other. There's yelling, of course, and screaming and the normal differences, but there is, at the end of the day, a very good dialogue that is allowing for solutions to be found. So I'm very proud of that and proud of this council as well. So thank you, Mr. Villa. Thank you for bringing that. But we do need to talk a little bit about work. So I wanted to report that this weekend we did have a Veterans MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, which the City of Calexico now will be working closely together with the veterans, the 3 different posts that are here in Calexico. And what it is that we're going to be working together to ensure that our monument that we have here on the City of Calexico property be maintained appropriately. It was abandoned for quite a while, and it was the victim of a lot of vandalism. But with this MOU now, we will have then a better understanding to ensure that we all have a better idea how we're going to take care of it. So they were really, really happy. Another thing that's been going on right now is that the City of Calexico is working closely together with the Border Patrol to ensure that we get our piece of the wall, the mural, the fence. We have a piece of our fence that's going to be removed over there near to the outlets. Quite a bit of it will be removed, and they're kind of giving bits and pieces everywhere. We want our piece too. And we have a reason why we want that as basically memory of what went on when it was built, when it was actually, the mural was painted, because it was an understanding that it was a friendship mural. So a lot's going on right now with the city of Calexico with regard to those plans, because to us it's very important, very symbolic. But at the same time also to let you all know that very soon we'll be celebrating the 110th anniversary of the city of Calexico. And that is where the city right now is putting together some of the plans and meeting with many different people. At this point, we have dates, if you want to know, from the 11th of April through the 16th of April. The 16th of April is the actual birthday of Calexico. We're going to be 110 years old. And that day, then, we also do a state of the city and things like that. So a lot to plan and a lot to do. And basically what we're talking about is talking with the theme of the past, and the present. There's a lot to celebrate in the city of Calexico of so much rich history. And we have a lot of rich history in our buildings here in Calexico, especially like the Dianzo Hotel and things like that. So we want to be able to take this hard work that we're going through in the difficult times, but also be able to celebrate what Calexico has been in the past and what we are now. For example, we also want to be able to feature to, like, let's say, for example, groups as you have here, the Boy Scouts, to learn about our old port of entry that we have down Heffernan and the new project we have right now. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen that new port of entry being built, right? It's amazing how different it is what we had on Heffernan back in the day and what we're going to be having pretty soon in April. So hopefully we'll be on target with the building of our new port of entry. Mr. Villa, can you leave and tell us at least that? We're going to get our new port of entry, right? We're not too sure about Mexicali now, I understand? What's the latest on that one, on Mexicali? I think they're a little behind. Does anybody know? The road to nowhere? So how is that? Does anybody can? John. Oh, there you are, John. You're not getting away with John. Come over here. Let us know, John. You're still on the clock.
Can you fill out a slip, sir?
Let me say how happy I am for Armando, but how sad I am for Calexico, because he did a great job at the county. You guys knew how to hire. Like, he hired Miguel, he hired David. You guys, what can I say? The last 6 years of Calexico has been challenging, but I think you're on the right track, and I think he's left a legacy, and I think he set the pace, and you know what he used to tell me at the county? Stick to the plan. Right, Armando? And you stuck to the plan. Regardless of popular or not, he did it, and I want to congratulate this council for having supported Armando without controversy the last year. So, port of entry will be done on the American side in March, but however, Mexicali won't be done till May. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to open the American side if you don't have a Mexican port of entry.
It's about 30 days.
The latest is May. The May is a firm
month.
date. 500 million pesos has been allocated for the port of entry. And the other news is that the Highway 98 crossing, over there by Santo Tomas, will be open next Wednesday. Wednesday morning, in time for Thanksgiving. And Highway 98 between between the post office and 111, that improvement project will not start till next summer, but it won't be closed. It'll just be limited. So port of entry in May, Highway 98 will be open next Wednesday, and I think that's about it.
Thank you, Mr.
Congratulations, Armando.
Thank you so much for that update. Okay, last comment I believe I would make only to the council is with regard to the bid. I got a phone call this morning from a concerned citizen that's a little concerned about the outbreak that San Diego is having and experiencing in their downtown. So they were asking about that. But in the conversation about that, the bid has funds to be able to take care of maybe that possibility of, I'm not sure, it's treating downtown sidewalks. Is that what it is? So that is probably the reason why we might want to have this bid start to function, is to take care of that need, because it's getting a little more scary, I guess. So not only is the bid for that kind of issue, but because they have funding that could take care of some of these things that we have going on. Just wanted to make that last comment. Thank you very much. That's the end of my comments. City Manager, would you like to make yours?
Yes, Madam Mayor. I don't have an exiting speech yet because we still have a lot of work to do and another meeting in December. But I want to reassure you that, where the city's headed, thanks to your help and your policies and your direction, I think we have a pretty good, stable plan to move forward. And I'm very confident that not just the two individuals that we just hired, but the entire city staff. They've all really stepped up to the plate at every level to help us, to help us get through to the financial challenges that we had over the last couple of years. So, again, I always say that everywhere, we have to stick to the plan, and right now, we have a pretty good plan, that implements, fiscal constraint and prudence. We have to work really hard on our economic development to bring more new money, new wealth into the community, and we have that. So over the next 30 days, I'm going to work really hard with Mr. Dale to make sure that he understands that plan and that vision that you have for the city, and that we continue this process seamless. So again, I don't have an exiting speech today, but I will have one on the 6th.
No tears today?
And no tears today. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Villa. Moving on. Can I have an approval for the consent agenda?
Wait, I'd like to pull number 5.
Would you like to restate the motion?
I motion that we approve 2, 3, 4, and 6, and pull number 5.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Quick discussion.
Okay. First by Mr. Hodge, second by Mr. Pacheco. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Go ahead, Mr. Hodge.
Okay, and I'll make it quick. Mr. Dale, it says under background 1, 2, 3, the third paragraph, the rate schedule will be reviewed and possibly modified so that it is more equitable rate structure based on consumption. And during the discussions we've had, I understand what that means, and I'm in favor of it. But then it hit me, because we haven't had a study for a while, what do the consumers pay right now? About 100?
Yeah, with the trash and the sewer, the
Okay.
minimum is 100.
So with the
I think it's
different
43 for water.
with the different rate schedule, there'll be some, if I've got this right, that will pay more and others will pay less. But is there a real strong possibility that the minimum amount will go up?
No, we're looking at a lower minimum rate.
Very
A
good.
base rate with maybe a higher usage rate.
Very good.
So if you use less water, that'll come out in the rate study itself. We're not ready to discuss that yet, but that's
Okay.
what we're trying to go there.
Okay. Because I've got people yelling, oh, they're going to go up, the prices are going to go up, or the
Well,
cost.
We want to be able to have them so they can save on their water bill.
That's
And
good.
Right now, you have a minimum use of 20,000
I
gallons.
like that
Could
very
we
much.
just clarify for the
22,000
public?
gallons to be exact.
Do you mind if we could just clarify for the public? Break it down for us. It's 43 water. Lily's right there, I guess.
Yes.
43 water. Sewer?
38.
38 sewer. And then the other?
Trash is 18
that's right.
something.
18 trash.
Combination.
So these evaluations will be for all 3 items? Or
No,
just the
this-
water?
Water and
Just the
sewer.
water.
Just water. So we're just looking at evaluating the $43 portion of a $100 water bill, which is only applicable to the water issues.
We also
Yeah.
have the sewer
water
part of
use.
it as well to look at. They're going to review the sewer rates as well.
Oh, the sewer as well?
Yeah.
So they're going to review water and sewer,
Yeah,
not trash.
and it's just based on city cost.
I think
And so
trash
we're trying
comes
to
up
make the
pretty
cost
soon,
lower.
doesn't it? Our trash contract comes up pretty soon?
Yes, next year.
Yeah. Thank you. That was my only concern. Or-
We'll have a lot of time to look at this and comment
Yes.
as the study progresses, and we'll have, town meetings and all that kind of stuff to talk about this, yeah.
Good, that's actually probably what we want to do is that
Yeah.
town meeting for that. All right.
Probably not.
Mr. Hodge, are you okay then with that?
Yes, I am. So I'll make a motion to, what do I do? Just to approve number 5?
Correct.
Okay, I
Second.
make a motion to approve number
First by
5.
Mr. Hodge, second by Mr. Escobar. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to the discussion and potential action items. Number 7, El Portal Development, approval of reimbursement agreement with Imperial Valley Builders LP, environmental consulting services agreement with Erickson Grant Incorporated, and letter of agreement with Curry Planning and Environmental for preparation of environmental documents and planning consulting services project number UA 2017-08. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor, can I give you a brief? This is one of the parts of the plan that we have for fiscal recovery. El Portal development was a development that was previously approved 10 years ago. It's coming back now as a different type of development now that the housing market is recovering. This development will entail about 1,000 new homes in the city over the next 5 to 10 years. What we need to do now is we need to do an environmental impact report or environmental assessment of the project, and also we need to seek the consulting services of a planner to be able to help us through that process. It's a very large project that needs to be environmentally assessed and studied. What it's in front of you today is to be able to approve a reimbursement agreement with the developer, which Charlie is here, and which they have accepted to pay for all the costs associated with the environmental impact report or assessment and the consultant to be able to carry this through. It'll take about 22 weeks to do that. And also, another item is to be able to approve the consulting contract with Erickson Grant and a consulting contract with Core Planning to be able to implement that plan. So if you have any questions?
Yes,
be
I
happy
do.
to
I
answer.
do have a question. My question would be, because I did have some contact with our planning department, our planning commission. Did this item go by planning commission? And if not, when would it?
Okay, not yet. What we're doing right now is in the preliminary stages of tentative track map. We need to be able to prepare the environmental document first, and then before it's finished, take it before the planning commission, take the map before the planning commission for review and approval, and then eventually we're coming back to you as a city council for final approval. We're looking at 22 weeks from now. Right now, what this is a reimbursement agreement with the developer, and then to be able to hire the consultants to get all the environmental clearances performed.
I will make a motion, bless you, to approve item number 7, El Portal Development. Unless there's any other discussion?
Oh, this is long and waiting. We needed this project. This is something that's going to infuse permits and work, and it's just going to be a great thing for the city once we start this multi-mixed use going for homes there. It's just a great project. All for it.
I motioned.
Second.
All for the vote?
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay.
All-
First by Mr. Hodge, second by Mr. Escobar. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on. Item number 8, appointment by Councilmember Mr. Pacheco to the Calexico Police Advisory Commission. When was the last time that our Police Advisory Commission met? Mr. Villa?
I believe this is an appointment, Mr. Pacheco,
while.
would you like to?
Because once he does this, then they can actually meet. Is that correct?
Sure, yes.
I make a motion that we accept the application of Mr. Peter Castro for the vacancy on the Police Commission.
I'll second that.
Is that an ex-employee of the city? That's actually your appointment, Mr.
Peter Castro.
Oh, good.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pacheco.
No, we don't need a vote on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Item number 9, authorize the city manager to sign a master equity lease agreement with Enterprise Fleet Management, Inc. for a period of 60 months for vehicle lease program. Mr. City Manager, you want to?
Here he comes.
Yes, Madam
Mr.
Mayor,
Dale.
I believe our Mr. Dale is ready to make a presentation.
Yeah, you
Delegating already.
got to look at your packet. You can see that we're looking to lease some vehicles for a period of 5 years as opposed to purchasing, because we looked at it from a financial point of view, and it appears that by leasing the vehicles instead of purchasing vehicles at this point, we'll be saving money in the long run. We're looking at potential savings of $60,000 a year based on estimates on how much it's costing us to maintain our current older vehicles. So we're looking at 15 vehicle trucks for the water and wastewater plants and distribution collection system. Is there any questions? I have the representative here to answer any specific questions you might have.
And David, you plan to get the next round the following year?
Yeah, and so, I mean, what we're trying to do is we're trying to have a more efficient system here so that when we go to do our rate study, we have a better, more efficient, everything we're doing is trying to make more efficiency, so
I do have a question. When we have these kinds of agreements or decisions that we're going to have agreements like this pretty large, did we need to bid on this one?
I can have Mr. Murphy address that.
No, I mean
but-
the city itself. Did we have to bid on these circumstances?
We essentially piggybacked on a public bid process that was used and
Called tips.
and based upon that, we are allowed, and that's how we are allowed to not do our, we don't have to do our own bidding because it's already been done, and we just piggybacked on that.
Okay. The other question I have is, we talked about this a little bit. We do have a lot of inventory, or I'll call it inventory, of a lot of abandoned vehicles of the city for years
Right.
and years and years. We're working on that too to
Yep.
eliminate all that out.
We already have the crushed vehicles, they're being removed, and then now we're going to start scheduling a sale of our surplus vehicles.
Awesome.
So
Thank
that's
you.
it's already been approved by council.
Any other questions, council?
One quick clarification. I'm 99.9% sure with the answer to it, but for the community's sake and for our sake, the $60,000 in savings, will that be applied to the general fund or to the infrastructure or enterprise funds?
The idea is to kind of hand down some of our better vehicles in the water side down to the areas that would be used for general funds. So yes, it will be saving general funds.
Thank you.
I have another question. Usually, like if a personal lease is occurring for a vehicle, you're usually going to get a 2-year lease. Is there a reason why you want to keep it for a 5-year? Because these types of items, won't they begin to start to maybe have a better option?
Yeah,
Because
if
this
you-
5 years, there's so much technology.
Right, and if
Does
you,
that mean, I'm sorry,
Go ahead, no.
does that mean we're going to be leasing each vehicle for 5 years?
yes, it's a 5-year period at the end, we'll have equity in each vehicle where we can either decide to roll that into another lease or we can use that equity to purchase or
Because
whatever we want to do.
I'm just thinking, when I saw 5 years, I figured there's so much technology out there right now. Something we buy right now, next month, there's something better.
Right.
So if there's going to be an out as far as not having to be married to certain equipment for 5 years.
I think the idea is that the 5-year interval is about the time when the technology increases. So in the 5 years, we can either decide that the technology increased enough, that safety increased enough, that we can move on to another.
But
The
we can
next
still
month.
buy out in case, right?
Yeah.
5 years, being 5 years, I mean, we'd be locked into something that we probably would regret later.
Well, we're going to have equity in those vehicles. It's a lease agreement with equity, so, go ahead.
See, Madam Mayor, most of these vehicles are driven in the city limits, so we don't put a lot of miles in them. Right now, we have vehicles that are over 10 years old, right?
We have vehicles that are
Yeah, so-
almost 20 and over 20
Yeah,
years.
so they may not meet safety standards and it may not meet. So the idea is to be able to develop a program where we don't keep vehicles longer than 5 years.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm
Longer
saying.
than 5
Usually you
years.
keep a lease for 2.
Yeah.
Or
And,
3.
We're
Why are
trying
we
to
doing
be the
5?
most efficient, the most cost-efficient method for the city, so.
All righty. Anybody else?
I just want to make, I make a motion to approve.
Okay, in a second.
Second,
Thank you. First by Mr. Real, second by Mr.
Hodge.
Hodge.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, matey.
All righty. Future agenda items. Thank you, Mr. Dale, so much.
Notice the engineering department was getting a new truck.
As long as it's not an SUV. All righty, future agenda items. Mr. Escobar, do you have any?
Mr. Villa, I'm going to
Yes.
give you a little bit more work. Before you leave, I would appreciate if you could present through Ms. Meyer, Meyer? I always screw up her last name, I apologize. Through Susan, an updated statement of where we stand financially. In this case, I believe we would be finalizing and updating our first quarter report, correct? when the final numbers are in, because we're not going to, I mean, our mid-year would be December 31st, which will not be made available at that time. But we could have an update of our first quarter, where do you stand to budget? And I believe Mr. Eduardo Gutierrez made a presentation, but I think it was just on preliminary numbers. Now we have the actual final numbers. We could have that presentation by Ms. Myers. I think that'd be beneficial for all of us as far as where we stand financially compared to our budget.
We are scheduled, I believe our meeting yesterday with Ms. Meyer, she'll be here, I think the first meeting in December, to present not only the first year, but where we stand. When we gave you the first quarter report, a couple of things that were not there were sales tax information, because we don't get sales tax, property tax information. So we will have a better handle on where we are with sales tax and also property taxes on the first of the year.
Thank you.
If we could cruise in the evening, see how many lights are out, Mr. Dale? In my neighborhood, my corner, especially. I'm sure there's more lights than just on mine.
That's,
Nothing further.
what the heck was I going to say? Oh, yes. This has been dormant a long time. It's been a mess, city manager. And I think we really have to look at this and come to some solution. And I was told by a very important person that I'm requesting that we look at having an ad hoc committee for the town center. And if we do, and we work at it diligently, the legality, the negative legality will disappear.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that meant, but okay. Anything else, Mr. Hodge?
No. Yes. There is a house, I mentioned it 3 times, it still is riddled with paraphernalia, drug paraphernalia. There are kids there. It's next to 623 Canal Street. The person doesn't know the address, but it's next door to their home. So please, we need to take care of that.
Is that a future agenda item?
Yeah, to take care of it, yes. Future, like tomorrow. Thank you.
All righty.
We will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As far as in a future agenda item, I'd like to look into maybe something we've talked about before, Council, which is employee recognition program.
I thought we had that.
Right. Have we done any steps on the employee recognition program?
We do. We presented, I believe, two
We're still
quarters ago.
continuing?
Yes, we're going to continue every quarter, and then eventually we'll do Employee of the Year.
We just had one last month, right? So it's quarterly is every 3 months?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And expanding it, because I know that there's people here that have been here for a really long time, and like some kind of a recognition for long time standing, being that we're coming towards the 110th anniversary.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're trying to recognize people who
Sure.
have been here for a really long time. That's probably where I wanted to kind of
Yeah,
go towards.
yes, I don't think we brought that to you, but one of the things that HR is doing is doing milestones, people that have been here 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. So I don't know that, I think we're scheduled to bring one back to you next month.
Awesome. And I think that the last question probably would be with regard to the last time that we had a council meeting. There was some rearrangements in the department of Mr. Dale, but I think there was still something that was not very well clarified, and it's causing some concern and questions amongst staff is what really entailed in those reorganizations, because we understood there was going to be no increase in salaries, but there's still a little confusion. If maybe we can either privately clarify that or in council as an agenda item. Just to help the public and staff to understand exactly
Okay.
what is the processes that we were following with that manner in which it was handled. I can talk to Mr. Dale as well with regard to that. Alrighty, so besides that, I think that before this little group here of boys leave us, I think we should have a really awesome picture with them. But besides that, is there anything else that behooves you to mention today before we close up?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Gentlemen, please, let's take a picture with